Some women don't chase. They don't explain, don't plead, don't perform their worth. And yet, they are never forgotten. There is a moment quiet, almost invisible, when desire stops being light, playful, controllable, and becomes something heavier. Something internal. Something a man never announces, not even to himself. This moment doesn't arrive through seduction alone. It arrives through absence, restraint, and the strange power of a woman who remains whole without him. In Jungian terms, this is not about romance. It is about projection. The archetypal woman appears calm, present, emotionally. She listens, but she does not overoffer herself. She feels deeply, but she does not collapse into those feelings. To the conscious mind of the man, she is simply different. To the unconscious, she is dangerous because she awakens what has been avoided. At first, desire lives on the surface. It feeds the ego. It feels flattering, chosen, manageable. He believes he is in control. He believes attraction moves in one direction outward. But the feminine archetype does not pull outward. She draws inward. She activates the anima, the inner feminine image every man carries but rarely understands, and that is where the shift begins. He starts to feel more when she does less. He thinks more when she speaks less. Her silence becomes louder than other women's affection. This is not strategy. This is shadow contact. In Jungian psychology, obsession forms when the ego encounters something it cannot dominate. The man begins projecting meaning onto her depth, mystery, salvation, danger. She becomes a mirror for everything unresolved within him. Not because she promised anything, but because she refused to abandon herself. The first turning point arrives when her emotional availability no longer matches his expectations. She does not reward effort with attachment. She does not punish distance with desperation. This neutrality unsettles the ego. Desire, which once felt like choice, begins to feel like hunger. Stoic psychology explains this simply. Attachment grows where control ends. The mind grasps what it cannot command. Trauma psychology goes deeper. Inconsistency, emotional restraint, and self-possession awaken old attachment wounds. The longing to be chosen without having to ask. He does not say, "I am becoming obsessed." He says, "Why can't I stop thinking about her?" The second turning point is silence. Not the cold kind, they full-kind. The silence of a woman who does not fill space to be liked. She does not rush to resolve tension. She allows the pause to exist, and in that pause, his nervous system begins to speak. Men are rarely taught to sit with emotional ambiguity. When the feminine does not soothe, the masculine is forced inward. The mind circles. The ego searches for resolution. The shadow stirs. Insecurities, fantasies, fears of inadequacy. He starts replaying moments, reading tone, interpreting absence as meaning. Desire slips beneath consciousness and roots itself in the body. The third turning point is when he senses, without evidence, that she would be fine without him. This is where obsession fully forms. Not because she is leaving, but because she could. Jung described individuation as the process of becoming whole. The woman who has touched this path does not use men to complete herself. She enjoys connection, but she does not dissolve into it. This autonomy destabilizes the ego that seeks validation through conquests or rescue. He begins to feel replaceable, not by another man, but by her own life. At Distach, desire is no longer about her presence. It is about his loss of psychological dominance. His mind tries to reclaim control through fixation. Attention becomes attachment. Curiosity becomes compulsion. The fourth turning point is internal collapse. Outwardly, nothing dramatic happens. Inwardly, everything does. He may pull closer or pull away. He may intellectualize or fantasize. But beneath all behavior is the same truth. She has entered his unconscious as a symbol, not a person. She represents freedom, self-possession, the feminine energy he has not integrated within himself. And here is the dangerous beauty of it. She does nothing. New chase. New reassurance, no performance. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect, embodied. Trauma psychology would call this a regulated nervous system. Stoicism would call it emotional sovereignty. Jung would call it power, not over others, but over the self. The final turning point is clarity, not his. Hers. She senses the shift. The subtle weight in his attention, the intensity behind his restraint, and instead of feeding it, she steps back into herself. She chooses individuation over awareness, over fantasy, presence over pursuit. Obsession cannot survive where there is no hook. When the woman no longer seeks to be desired, desire loses its leverage. What remains is truth, and not every man is ready to face it. Some will retreat, some will cling, some will never forget. But the woman who understands this moment does not build her worth on being unforgettable. She builds her life on being free.